everybody, Loyalty for Life here, bringing guys a brand new deck profile, so scraps. So I wanted to make this video a lot closer to when I did my Blast from the Past video on it, but then I was scared to death of the ban list coming out, and it finally did, and sure enough I had to make some changes, but either way, I freaking love scraps. I said it so much in that original video, forever ago, of Blast from the Past. Scraps are really fun rogue deck. They get the occasional regional tops and transitionary periods from going from one format to another, and when people are still figuring out things. They're a really big fan favorite deck too. I've noticed that almost everybody I've ever talked to about Scraps has said that they either love playing it or that they love seeing it being played by people who know what they're doing. And it's just a really fun deck to play. It's really cheap too. I'd say the only expensive part of the archetype is the synchros if you want to bling out the extra deck. Because Ultimate Rare Scrap Dragons are $5 and Ultimate Rare Scrap Twin Dragons are $8. At least last I checked, and who knows, they might be more expensive or less expensive by the time that somebody sees this in a year, which I don't know why you'd be looking up a deck profile from 2017 and 2018. But either way, enough rambling, let's get on with the deck profile. So first and foremost, we got triple Scrap Golem. So Scrap Golem is a card that you want to play at 3, and you have to play at 3, but you also don't want to play at 3, okay? So here's the big thing. You have to play 3 of this card. You really do, okay? But drawing into it is the worst thing ever. So Scrap Golem, while he's on the field, once per turn, you can target a Scrap monster that's level 4 or lower, and then special summon it to either your side of the field or your opponent's side of the field. That's what he does. He's a monster reborn for the deck, and he can pop it on your side of the field or onto your opponent's side of the field. He's really cool. He's level 5, 2300 attack. I love the attention to detail in his artwork. Seriously, if you ever get the chance, look at all the Scrap Monsters artwork. They're really detailed and cool. But however, the big thing about Golem is that he's level 5, and that's both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it makes making levels 8s and 9s, what this deck loves to do, super easy, because, well, you have level 3 and 4 tuners, which means 3 plus 5 equals 8, and 4 plus 5 equals 9. So there you go. You can make your Scrap Twin Dragons and your Scrap Dragons all day long. The issue comes in the fact that drawing into this thing is a dead card. Okay, because the deck has no easy way of getting Scraps out of the hand, and really you never want to draw into him. You want to get him out either from the graveyard or from the deck preferably. So you don't want to draw into him. That's the big issue. But you still have to play 3 because he's your main combo maker, which really sucks. But he's still a really good card. And then we got triple Scrap Chimera. So Scrap Chimera, whenever he's normal summoned, you can target a Scrap Tuner monster in graveyard, special summon it, and that's about it. Now this guy, he cannot be used for a Synchro Summon except for a Scrap Synchro monster. So yeah, that's kind of annoying, but however, it says nothing about links. So he's one of your other main combo players. You normal summon him, target out your Beast or your Orthros or something, go for a Scrap Dragon, or yeah, that's really about it, because you don't want to target Goblin, because Scrap Archfiend is terrible and you don't want to play that. So yeah, you mainly just use him for making for links, Xyz, and also of course your Scrap Dragons, which is a really great card. He's just an overall really awesome monster for the deck. And then we got Orthros. I've noticed some people play 2 of him, but I prefer 3 because he is one of your combo starters. So the big thing about Orthros is that he cannot be normal summoned or set, and he can only be special summoned if you control a Scrap monster. Now, that being said, he does need to be first special summoned by his own effect, and then after he's been special summoned by his own effect, provided you have a Scrap monster, you can revive him from your graveyard with, for instance, Chimera. Now, then whenever he is special summoned by his own effect, you have to pop at least one other, well, or even himself, any Scrap monster you control. And if he dies by a Scrap card effect, you can add a Scrap from your graveyard back to your hand. So he's just a really great card in general. He's a level 4 Beast Tuner. He's super easy to summon. Now his popping effect is, it sounds bad, but that's what this deck does. Okay? And you can pop himself, you can pop your Beast or your anything else. You get their effects to grab back something from the graveyard and add it to your hand. And then also, of course, the big thing is that you can, well, pop him to trigger your field spell. So then you can get your Golem out, and Golem can bring him back to go for his level 9 Synchro. Just a really great card overall in general. And again, I see why people only play 2, but due to him being like one of the main combo starters, I really feel like you need to play 3. But then again, that's just my opinion. Next up, we got triple Scrap Beast. Scrap Beast is, believe it or not, one of the few generic level 4 tuners with no restrictions on what they can be used for or anything. So Scrap Beast, he has like the most basic effects for a scrap monster. If he's destroyed by a scrap card effect, you can target a scrap monster in graveyard, add it back to your hand. You can't target himself. And then if he's targeted for an attack on defense position, he destroys himself at end phase. I mean, at the end of the battle phase. You never do that, but like the big thing is that he's a level 4 beast tuner and he's named Scrapped. So he's a scrap monster. That's the big thing. Like really, that's you don't really ever use his effect except for his recursion effect, because that's actually like the really great thing about scraps is that they have a lot of recursion and recurability, revivability, whatever you want to call it. Just another great card in general. And then we got triple Scrap Goblin. You use him with Golem to make your Scrap Dragons. He can't be destroyed in battle, so if like you have nothing else, you can set him. And then, oh hey, let's say you drew into your Golem, you can tribute him off for Golem. that's like his main purpose. Now he does have the same effect as Beast, where if he's targeted by a attack at the end of the battle phase, well, if he was in defense position, he dies. And then if he's destroyed by a scrap card effect, you can add a scrap monster from your graveyard to your hand other than himself. But again, he can't be destroyed in battle, so he's a really good chump blocker. And then for the one-ofs, I got one Scrap Shark. So Scrap Shark is really intriguing. So he's a 2100 fish level 4 monster, and if he dies by a scrap card effect, you can send any scrap monster, or I believe it's any scrap card actually. You can send any scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is really cool. Now you might be wondering, okay, well, what's the big drawback? Why is there a crap ton of text there? If a card or effect is activated while he's on the field and he's face up, he kills himself. So then he can send something from deck to grave. Now the big thing is that he's a level 4 non-tuner, and he's like the only good level 4 non-tuner in the deck. That doesn't say that he can't be used for anything other than a scrap monster synchro summon. So with him, and with like Scrap Goblin or Beast, you can make anything else that you want. So like a Black Rose or a Sapphire Lord Omega, something like that. But again, he really just sets up your graveyard and all that. And he's a 2100 beater, which isn't bad at all. And then we got one Max C, because Max C's still at 1, yay! Honestly, shouldn't be, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Max C helps out this deck a lot. Oh yeah, and you can grab it back with Mrs. Radiant, which is just dirty. So now then, for the spells, I play triple Scrapyard. This card has one simple line of text: add a scrap tuner from your deck to your hand. Really good, really awesome. Gets you your Orthros, gets you your Goblin, gets you your Beast. Doesn't matter what it is, you're 90% of the time going to go for Orthros, but that's beside the point. Then we got Scrap Storm. This card is so freaking good. Okay, so just so I don't mess it up or anything, I'm gonna read it verbatim. So it's a quick play spell card. Select a face-up scrap monster you control. Send one scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard, then draw one card, then destroy that monster. So cost is targeting your scrap monster, and then you send a scrap monster, and then you destroy that monster, and then you draw one card. Or wait, no. You draw a card, then destroy it. That way, so it doesn't miss timing, you get to send something from deck to grave, you get to draw a card, and then you get to pop your monster, and then you get to add back any scrap monster from your graveyard that's not that monster. If you pop like a Beast, an Orthros, or a Goblin, which is really, really great. Because like for instance, I can normal summon a Beast, activate this card, activate the field spell first obviously, then send a Chimera to graveyard, and then draw a card, then destroy Beast, and then Beast will get to grab that Chimera from graveyard, so that I can normal summon him next turn and use him for a synchro summon, which is really, really, really good. So yeah, this card is just freaking amazing. And then like if your opponent's like gonna like Dark Hole or Raigeki you can chain it. You can chain this to that so you get to do stuff. It's just a really awesome card in general. And next up, I got the field spell. This card is so freaking good. Okay, so it gives all scrap monsters 200 more attack and defense, which is fine and dandy. It makes your scrap dragon a 3k beater. And then if a scrap monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can spell summon a scrap monster from your deck to your field. So yeah. Oh hey, my scrap dragon just died from a dark hole. Okay, spell summon out a golem and then bring back something from the graveyard with golem's effect. Really, really, really great card. It just gets you so much advantage. It's a hard once per turn though, which sucks, but however, that it's just such a good card. It's the main playmaker of the deck. It makes your combos work, and that is amazing. It gets Golem out from deck, it gets you your Beast, it gets you your Chimeras if you really wanted to. But the big thing is it gets you a Golem, and Golem gets you your plays. So just really awesome card in general. And then to help out with card advantage, we got Triple Supply Squad. This is like one of the few decks that can really effectively make use of Supply Squad without like going too long without making any real advantage. Because the whole point of this deck is popping your own stuff very quickly, very often. With this card and with the field spell, you can just generate so much advantage, it's ridiculous. And then, well, you just get to plus and get to all your spells and traps and monsters and everything that you need that's in between. So you can go and just brutally murder your opponent with a bunch of monsters. And because I said murder, this video is going to get demonetized, isn't it? Thank you, YouTube! So now then, next up we got 2 Ayers Rock Sunrise. So this lets you special summon any beast type monster from your graveyard. You gotta target it, it's a monster born for beast types. But that's really, really good because your tuners and your Chimera are all beast types. So you get to bring back your stuff and then you get to do more plays with it. You can only activate one of it per turn, and it has another effect where like, oh hey, whenever you special summon that monster, your opponent lose all of your opponent's monsters lose 200 attack and defense for every beast, wing beast, and a bunch of other types in your graveyard. But again, that's never really too much because you only have beasts in your grave and rocks and a fish and a random insect for Maxi and. Yeah, the typings in this deck are everywhere. We got 2 Terraforming. I was kind of flip-flopping between 2 and 3, but I saw the field spell enough at the time where I didn't feel like I needed 3, and 2 Terraforming has been working just fine. And then finally 1 Soul Charge. If you resolve Soul Charge in this deck, you're generally going to win. It's just such a good card for this deck. It gets you all your stuff and everything, and you can just generate so much more advantage because if you bring back like 2 or 3 golems, you're going to be special summoning like crazy. You get to bring back so much more. You get to make all your synchros, all your Xyz, all your freaking links, because now we have to play these in order to go into other stuff in our extra deck. Thank you, Konami. So yeah, this card is just really amazing for the deck. And we got Triple Call to Haunted for the traps. So really, really nice to be able to bring back your stuff. And then, oh hey, if you bring back like a Scrap Dragon or anything, and then like you go for like a Scrap Twin Dragon, or sorry, if you bring back like a Golem or something, and then Synchro for a Scrap Dragon, you can pop your Dead Call to Haunted to get rid of something your opponent controls without losing anything. But additionally, it's just really, really good for this deck, partly for that and partly just for being able to get you other things, get your Scrap Dragons, get your Scrap Twin Dragons back. It's been, especially now that we have links and we can't like flood the board with 2 to 3 Scrap Dragons anymore. At least not without first making a Mrs. Radiant, which actually this deck can do if it draws right, which it does usually. And then we got 2 Floodgate Trap Holes, just simply to stun my opponent. This card is really, really good, especially right now. Oh, hey, you're dueling against Spiral. They're doing all their plays. Okay, they just machine duped for 2 quick fix. Okay, activate this card, Book of Moon, both those quick fixes. You can't do crap with them. This card is really good because it books them in all those monsters, and then your opponent basically can't do anything with them, and they get stunned for a turn. Possibly even more, multiple turns, especially if, like, for instance, with the Spiral example, and you book them in double quick fix, they can't do crap with only 1 quick fix. They need to have multiples, and yeah, sure, they'll get to search a few cards, but like those face down quick fixes are staying there. They can't synchro with them, they can't seize with them, they can't link with them. You can't do anything with face down monsters other than contact views or tribute them off or tribute summon, but that's beside the point. So this card is just really good for stunning your opponent, knocking them down, and giving you time to be able to you know, just make a counter attack, which is really, really great, and try and go for that OTK, which this deck can do pretty easily. And then now then for the extra deck. So first and foremost, because we have to play links now if you want to play an extra deck Reliant archetype, we got Triple Mrs. Radiant. Just a really great card for this deck actually in general, because it needs 2 Earth type monsters. Everything in this deck is Earth. All Earth type monsters, well, all Earth attribute, not type obviously, gain 500 attack and defense, and all Wind lose 500 attack and defense. Then if it dies, you can grab back an Earth from your graveyard, so it can even recur itself, but you can also more very mean grab back Maxi, which is hilarious. Then of course you can grab back your other stuff like your Chimeras, your Scrap Dragons, everything like that. Just a really good card in general. Then we got for the Synchros, Triple Scrap Dragon, one of the main bosses of the deck. He's one of your main guys that you're going to be making all the time. If you guys don't know, once per turn you can target one card you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy both of those cards. And if he dies by one of your opponent's card effects or by battle, you can special summon a scrap monster that's not a Synchro from your graveyard. So really, really good card in general. And then so we got Scrap Twin Dragon, which requires the same thing, but is not generic. He needs a non-tuner scrap monster. And then he does basically the same thing, but you can pop a card you control and then spin back 2 cards your opponent controls back to their hand. And with the field spell, he's a 3200 beater, so he's really, really good. And he does the same thing as Scrap Dragon, where, oh, hey, if he dies by your opponent's card, you can special summon a non-tuner scrap monster from your graveyard. And then now then for the other random cards that like you just play because, well, they're good. We got 1 Proxy Dragon, 1 Black Rose, 1 Stardust, 1 Cypher and Lord Omega, 1 Abyss Dweller to counteract stuff that goes engraved, and then 1 Castell. So like really, honestly though, all you're really making in this deck are these 3. To be completely honest, because these are the main things. These 2 make your plays and are your boss monsters, and this lets you go into these 2. So yeah, this deck is, you mainly just need these 3. If you just got these 3 for the deck, you're good, you're golden, except for that one time where you need a Cypher and Lord Omega. So yeah guys, that's the deck profile. What do you guys think of this deck? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you like scraps? What are your guys' thoughts on scraps? What do you think they need to be really good? I feel like they're on the verge of being really good. I feel like they just mainly need better monsters, because really, in all honesty, their monster lineup isn't the greatest, but I digress. So what are your guys' thoughts on this deck? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and see you all later. Peace out and goodbye.